I think that the tips and tricks of a game help keep the game balanced because, first of all, tips and tricks can be closely related to rules because they're like rules. They're telling you how to play the game, but they're not revealing exactly how to win or exactly how to get around different things that we've seen in quests. Different things happen to the avatar, and different ways of getting to different places happen. So I think that, for example, in mine, for example, number 3 in tips and tricks, kill all the monsters. You have a gun for that. So I think that if we look at my game itself, this monster can shoot. But what's keeping the game balanced is, although if he can shoot, I can shoot too. So in a way that keeps it balanced because it's explaining, just tips and tricks help explain exactly how they're keeping it balanced. And I think maybe different things help it because, for example, again, maybe although I only have 1 minute, I can still get a plus minute. And although I have to kill all the monsters, I have 3 lives, which is a decent amount in order to do so in 1 minute and kill 13 monsters, who also have a gun, but I do too, so the game is overall balanced like that. But also how they keep it balanced, because without tips and tricks, the game's the game's real ideal purpose wouldn't be explained. And if I just play mine, so I can use my gun to help, and the tips and tricks help to explain different concepts, and they also help to explain. In the quest, we've seen that the tips and tricks have to explain how this is going to help you in the real gaming world, and I think that helps because without it, we just think, oh, what's the purpose of this? And tips and tricks help us show that um, we that there's always a purpose. You're not just playing a game. There's always, whether you know it or not, there's always a purpose. So if I just go back to my tips and tricks, you can see that tips and tricks really let the reader know what they're basically doing is letting the reader know more information about the game. And they're letting the reader know that, number 2 for mine, make sure you see if this level is wraparound or not. It will help if you know. So there I'm helping the player understand, and it keeps the game balanced so that this game is fun, but it's also challenging because I'm letting them know the different aspects this game has. And games always need to be fun but challenging. They can be fun but too easy, but the main thing that will make them very, very good to play is fun and challenging, a mixture of both, as we've experienced by playing different games in the quest and workshop. So I think tips and tricks overall help you really understand um, parts of the game, and without them, there'd be a blank hole. There'd be some part of the game missing, and if they without them, there's different parts that we just wouldn't understand. And if without them, I might, as a player that wasn't the maker of this game, I might not understand that I can wrap around and come back down here. But with tips and tricks, it's letting me know, and it's letting me understand that some games can be wrapped around, and it's letting the reader know more information. So with tips and tricks, we can not only find out more, but it lets us experience more ways, and we can find out how tips and tricks can help us in our own games. So I think tips and tricks are valuable things to have in our games for all of those reasons. And I think in my game, I'm showing the ways tips and tricks are good because I'm explaining what this game has to offer. I'm explaining about the guns, I'm explaining about the time limit. You need to kill the monsters in order to win, you need to get all of the points, you need to avoid the killing blocks over here, you need to avoid the enemies, of course. So I'm keeping the game balanced by explaining those, and I'm keeping the game also balanced in a way by having advantages on the avatar and advantages on the enemies, which I'm explaining in the tips and tricks, which is helping really get the message across that this game is balanced. So I think that I'm showing it, and overall tips and tricks really help. So I hope that was all clear, and thank you.